Well, thank you so much for this great honor of being inducted into the Foreign Policy Association's Council of Ambassadors. Did you hear that, my kids? Ambassadors. But I want to share this honor with my dedicated staff, board of directors, members, and over the 10,000 attendees back in Minnesota who annually participate in the Minnesota International Center's Great Decisions program. So as you know, Great Decisions is the oldest citizen education and discussion program in the US, sponsored by FPA. And it's coordinated, as Noel told you, by 90 World Affairs Councils throughout the US. The Minnesota International Center is the coordinator in our state, and I am so proud to tell all of you in this room that in Minnesota, we have the largest Great Decisions program in the country. So you may ask, why does Minnesota, it's in the middle of the country, state of 5 million, why do they have the largest Great Decisions program? Well, for one thing, Minnesota has a global reputation for good government and innovation in business. We have 19 Fortune 500 companies headquartered in Minnesota, more than any other state per capita in the US. And what I've heard is that the hardest thing to do is to get people to come to Minnesota, and the hardest thing is to get them to leave. So 3M, Cargill, Medtronic, General Mills, these are household names to all of you. And these globally minded companies demand a well-educated and a globally minded workforce. We also value civic engagement and consistently have one of the highest voter turnouts of any state in the country. Some of our famous Minnesotans we could consider them civic activists include Bob Dylan, Tom Friedman, Walter Mondale, and also that Saturday Night Live comedian turned US Senator Al Franken. Education has always been a core value of our state. We value education. And H.G. Wells said, civilization, it's a race between education and catastrophe. And so in this complicated world, Great Decisions provides us with a grassroots platform for people to learn and exchange opinions on foreign policy issues. And the beauty is, you don't have to be a foreign policy expert to join Great Decisions. Great Decisions has been a core part of our center's programming since 1984, but it grew significantly after 2001. Our members told us after 9/11 that it was no longer a luxury to know about global issues, but it was imperative. And the best way to learn about global issues is really to sit down and discuss them. So today, we have 60 Great Decisions groups throughout the state, in high schools, private homes, corporations, places of worship, libraries, community education programs, and retirement homes, like cradle to grave, Great Decisions in Minnesota. This program is our center's most wide-reaching program in terms of geographic reach. And our Great Decisions speakers, they're professionals who give back to the community, retired foreign service officers, academics, formerly elected officials, corporate and community leaders who share their insights and expertise on Great Decisions topics. But our success with Great Decisions in Minnesota is that we have taken it a step further because we work collaboratively. So we provide training workshops for our group leaders. And as Noel mentioned, we have an annual day-long Great Decisions conference. And this October, the conference is going to be on energy independence. I'm also really proud to tell you that we created a partnership with the Minneapolis Star-Tribune for a monthly editorial on one of the Great Decisions topics, accompanied by a related article on the subject written by one of our members. These half-page commentaries go to over 365 subscribers, and this has raised our visibility of the Minnesota International Center, but it's also empowered our citizens for their voices to be heard. Our mantra at the Minnesota International Center is a wise U.S. foreign policy. It is based on a well-engaged and informed public. And that's, Great Decisions is a terrific program, and that's what it helps us to do in our state. So now, in closing, I want to thank Noel Lateef for his tremendous leadership and support, as well as his committed staff and board at the Foreign Policy Association for consistently creating such strong Great Decisions materials year after year. And all of you in this room who are FPA supporters, thank you for lifting the global mindset of communities well beyond New York City with your support. So, thank you very much.